Hi everyone, this is Esther and welcome back to another conversation on children. So this is a message for parents who have lost loved ones during this season when the world is battling the COVID pandemic. First of all, I am so very sorry that you've lost your loved one or you've lost loved ones. Death hurts, and the pain of death is not something that can be described. There's not sufficient words to describe the pain of grieving. So I'm so sorry that you're going through that excruciating pain. So this video is for you. Death hurts like crazy. And how can it not when we have lost someone who was with us and is not with us anymore, and there's nothing we can do to bring them back. So grief is that excruciating, desperate need to have someone you loved be with you when they cannot be with you. And because death is permanent, the pain of grief does not have a timeline. Grief is not something that we can put a timer on. Grief is a process, and it's a lifelong process because we don't stop thinking and loving and missing those who have left us and those that we've lost along the way. So this is for the parents who have children who are going through the grieving process. I am so sorry that on top of your pain, you have to watch your children going through the pain of losing a loved one. That hurts, and that makes it a double kind of excruciating pain. And this season, during this COVID pandemic season, last year 2020 and this year 2021, very many families have lost loved ones. So I'm going to share with you something that this season of 2020 and 2021 has taught me or has reminded me that children will go through their journeys of grief. There is nothing we can do to cut short their grieving process. And I know that's the hardest thing any parent can come to terms with, the fact that you cannot carry your children's pain. But grief is something that is so personal, and people's experiences of pain are so personal that it's almost impossible to carry somebody's pain, because it's also impossible to even preempt how somebody is going to experience their pain. Even if you have lost a loved one as a family, every person in that household is experiencing their grief in such a unique, individualized manner that it's not possible for anyone to carry another person's grief. And I know we as parents are wired to want to carry the burdens for our children. So I know in this season, you are barely allowing yourself to feel your pain because you cannot afford to feel your pain and still be able to carry the weight of your children's pain. And I know that is what loving parents do. That is what parents are wired to do to prevent their children from hurting, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental. And so you're doing what any loving parent would do. And you're an amazing parent. And it's okay to want to cushion your children from experiencing the pain. But remember that grief is a journey that does not have a one stop, fix it kind of approach. So therapy is helpful, and by all means do reach out for professional help when you need, but also just to let you know that you do not need to doubt yourself when you feel like the pain, the cycle of pain does not come to an end, and when you feel like the process of grieving just never seems to come to an end. That's how grief feels. The process of grieving just never feels like it comes to an end, because grief does not have an end. We don't stop having loving memories of people we've loved, and we don't stop missing people we've loved. The void of loving people who have left us is permanent. And so grief is a permanent process. It's a lifelong process. And so just to let you know that we see you and that we are cheering you on this journey of trying to keep your head above the water. It's crazy to say that you'll be okay. I mean, that's That's a statement that would not make sense to someone who's grieving. So I'm not going to tell you that you'll be okay, but I'm going to tell you that you will make it through a day at a time. So remember that grief is a journey. It's a lifelong journey. So don't feel discouraged when you feel like the cycle of pain does not come to an end. There is no season where it all comes to an end and you stop feeling, because love has no end. And the person who you hold dear to your hearts, they live in your hearts forever. So you will remember them every so often. You will remember them. And I know that it's tough to have to watch your children's confused looks, wondering why their loved one is not there, and why they're not coming back, and why they're not getting out of the place where they were laid to rest. And I know it's tough when your children don't understand how permanent death is. I know it's tough when you have to listen to your children crying in their beds because they're craving for the person that they've lost. And I know it's tough when your children watch other children having the parents perhaps that they've lost. And I know you're wondering, why your children? And some of these questions don't have answers. But just to let you know that everybody who is on this journey is also asking the same question. So don't feel alone. Not that it's any consolation, but grief has a way of making it feel like you're the only one drowning in your pain, and you're the only one who is going through that season. Please remember to raise your head above the water, and we will be there. There are very many people who are there, who are willing to hold your hand, who are willing to give you that hug. But above all, for your children, remember that despite the fact that you cannot grieve for them, and there's nothing you can do to lessen their pain, children grieve best by watching us grieve. Children learn that it's okay to grieve because we tell them and we show them that it's okay to grieve. So be open to having those conversations with them when they want to talk about their loved ones, and be open to answering their questions. And it's likely that those questions will be repetitive because there are some things that they're yet to comprehend and understand. So don't get wary of having to repeat, and be open to telling them just how much it's equally painful for you, so that they don't think that feeling pain after losing someone is out of the normal. Let them know that you're in this together. If nothing else, children grieve best in loving environments. So I know this video does not take away your pain. I know it doesn't give you, answers that can fix the situation. And again, I know that the pain of losing a loved one is excruciating. And I am so very sorry that you have to experience this, and that your children have to experience this. Remember to reach out for help to friends and family, for professional help if you need it. And remember that you also have lost a loved one, so you also need the support. So while you're getting that help for your children, don't leave yourself behind. We'll be there to support you, to walk with you. But above all, this is a video to tell you that you're doing great. There's no way of feeling that you're doing great when you have to grieve a loved one, but just surviving a day at a time, you're doing the best you can, and you're a great parent, and you're doing great. So don't give up, hang in there, and remember to reach out for help. Thank you for tuning in, and see you on the next one.